Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Today we have two wonderful guests and Alex on the podcast.
Are you a guest? I was destroyed.
Gulasal, Butaeva,
Hello.
one of the few female niners in Uzbekistan, and also my dear friend Alex Finkelsteyn.
Wow. You said it correctly. Congratulations.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Of course. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting us.
I want to start off the discussion with Gulasal's recent casual meeting with the president of Uzbekistan.
Okay.
Can you please tell us how this came about?
All right. Actually, I didn't know this was going to be in the podcast, but yeah, never mind. So it was planned 2 weeks ago. I was going to meet him 2 weeks ago, but somehow the trip got canceled or something. So I met him just yesterday. The Mr. President visited Karsy, my hometown. And then he went there to see the tourism industry and other industries at the same time to have a conversation with young people. So I was invited. It was great to meet him. And as I said, we handshaked at the end. I think it's gonna be one of the best days of my life. Unforgettable days, at least. Yeah.
Is that correct? Handshaked is correct? Now, why
I know.
would you be selected to that meeting,
Yeah, actually there are two reasons. First of all, I'm the only niner in Kashkadarya, like literally only niner,
Wow.
male or female.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Congratulations on that. Wow.
Thank you. And I am one of the very few flexers as well who have finished their high school in the USA. We had two more, I guess, alumni. So they both are not in Uzbekistan. So, and for that, yeah, I think I got.
so they pick like the only the overachievers, like people with.
I would say successful young people who can set an example to others and especially who deserve to see the Mr. President, and they should have good Uzbek. I think I have decent Uzbek. No, of course, yes. And they should, yeah. So I'm glad that I got invited.
And how was the experience like, your
It was-
feelings and.
It was great. It was a little bit exhausting because we waited for him. He was late. And throughout the meeting, he was like talking about a lot of political things, reformations in Kashkadarya, new Uzbekistan strategies and all the stuff. And obviously, he didn't have time, like a lot of time for young people. But it was very nice of him at the end to come to our row, at least handshake with the first row. And then it gave us the best, like very, very good experience. So I'm glad that I met him and I hope I'll meet him again. Maybe this time we will talk.
Yeah. Listen, all I can say about that is epic. And let me tell you guys, I shook Gulasal's hand when we met. So that means, technically speaking, I shook the president's hand. Like, I'm one handshake away. All right. I'm getting closer. So thank you to Gulasal for letting me,
Of course.
breach this barrier. Wow.
course.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a big milestone, to meet.
It's massive, bro. Yeah, for real. Okay, wait a second. Okay, Uzbek, have you met the president? Have you?
Have you?
Of which country?
Any country?
No, not yet. But there are some presidents I would love to meet, yeah.
like who?
I mean, the Qatari prince, maybe?
Why?
I don't know. The guys are just super generous. Last time Trump visited them, they gifted him a flying jet or something.
Did you see, like, the president of South Africa got also invited to the White House, and Trump was showing him, I don't know if you guys saw this, Trump was showing the president of South Africa like some stuff going on in the government of South Africa, like about the massacre of white farmers. And the president of South Africa said, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I came here without a jet to give you."
Oh, wow.
Genuinely, you should see that. When I saw that, I was amazed. I don't know how that didn't become like massive, but it was the funniest thing I've seen in the White House for about a week.
I mean, oh yeah, like that's probably shook him,
That's a sick comeback.
If Trump was listening, like,
Yeah.
Joe wouldn't be able to catch that, obviously. The guy is to himself, Yeah, America is a great country that can be defined in one word.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to
Where is he, by the way? Is he in hospital or retired?
I think he's still sleeping. He just went to sleep. He's hibernating now.
So again, Gulasal, congratulations on meeting the president. Let's talk about your IELTS 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How does it feel to be like, I think, the third female niner out of just four?
No, the fourth, right?
She's the
I'm
third.
the third.
Sorry, third. Wow. Really?
Out of only 4, yeah.
Wow.
It feels great to
So
be...
we have Mamur Appa.
Okay.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
So, just to recap,
Yeah.
we have Sandra
Sandra.
from Cambridge.
Yeah.
We got Gulasal
From IELTS.
from IELTS Zone. This is not sponsored by any educational center.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, other than Supernova Learning Center in Andijan.
Okay.
Hey, why don't you like put that in the background somewhere? Like technically it is, isn't it?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, you
That's a
should.
good idea.
I'm giving a great idea. So it's actually sponsored by me. By my ideas.
And then we have Christina. Is she
Yeah.
Russian?
I was with her. We made a video with her. I did not think to ask that, but I don't think so. I mean, her last name is like Hafizova, right? I don't think that's a Russian
No, but why?
surname.
Like, if you're an Uzbek, you wouldn't be called Christina, I think.
I mean, it depends. Names are not always, that set in stone.
Could be not exactly Russian, but another nationality as well, maybe. Azerbaijani, who knows, right?
Oh,
Could be.
That
any
makes
other-
sense.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Good. So yeah, again, how does it feel to be the third niner out of 4 niners?
Why do you say out of 4? There are like lots of male niners. Let's count them. Like 50 male niners?
Do you?
Like,
When you think about it, do you consider yourself more as a group of the whole or the group of the smaller whole?
of course, the group of whole. Like, okay, yes. But like for advertising purposes, they said I'm like the third female niner and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And they also told me to do so. I mean, like,
Yeah,
to tell people
because that's
that I'm...
cooler.
Okay, yeah.
Is it cooler or is it sexist?
I think it's cooler. Let me tell you why. Because being just a niner is really not that cool anymore. Like, like there's no clout. All the clout is gone. After the first 10, not interesting anymore. So, like, being the third female niner is like really cool. It's
Yeah, so whatever. Yes. So at
Anyway.
least I'm the third and the youngest. So
You're not the youngest.
the youngest female niner.
Ah,
The
okay,
youngest
okay.
female.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
yeah. So how does it feel? It feels great. I mean, I could have tried to get 9 earlier. That's what I regret now, because I could have, gotten IELTS if I had like really prepared earlier and all the stuff. But in the early years, like I just came from the US, and then BM and other guys already got IELTS. So I think when I came from the USA, there were like 2 or 3 niners in general in Uzbekistan.
Again, just to clarify, BM is Begzat Mirahmedov,
Yeah.
the founder.
Who is there that doesn't know that?
I mean, when you just say it casually like
Yeah,
that,
maybe.
BM.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. We understand that, but I guess most of the audience
Begzat
doesn't.
Mirahmedov. So when I came from the USA, I didn't really want to get 9, and I didn't really want to work in the IELTS sphere because I was at university, and my field is very different. Can you guess my field?
Yeah, sure. Like
Communications.
No.
Law. It's law.
No. I don't study law.
But you know Azoza.
Okay, but
Trade.
from foundation year.
Oh.
Trade? No. You mean finance? Or commerce? Yes, guys, come on, yes. Like, who do I look like? Like look. Like,
Oh,
literally, look.
Wait a second. Wait. Comp sci.
Yeah.
Yeah?
What?
I have
Good
computer
job.
science. I have
Oh.
that's actually hilarious that you said that. I am currently teaching a group of comp sci students, like data science.
Really?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
same. My major also involves data science. It's called business information systems.
Wow.
Basically, business plus data science plus computer science.
Like financial tech.
Yeah.
Money.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah, could be. But like...
Money.
So my field was very different. It was in tech, and I was going to work in tech. So I don't know. So I didn't really aim for 9, and actually started really aiming for 9 at the end of 2024, probably starting from November, because I remember like this was like first time like I was actually taking tests for 9. Before that, I just got 8.5 and that's it. And to get 9, I took the test 9 times in 2 years. Some people confuse this with 1 year, but no. So I took the test in 2023. I took another test in 2024, and I took the other 7 tests in 2025, in the beginning of 2025, starting from January till March. And then I finally got 9 in March.
Busy year.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, that was so difficult because in March I was having my finals, and it was hell. It was hell for me. Life was hell. At least in the first week of March, because I had finals, I had university class at the same time, I had my own class at ielts.on, and I had this IELTS thing to get prepared. So what I actually did was I skipped lots of my lunch period, and I also like actually got prepared while I was like commuting on the like I don't know, on the way or whatever. So yeah, I'm so glad that I got it. So right now I appreciate it more because it came from lots of hard work. And yeah, so I don't think that I just got it like casually. Some people think that, oh, you just studied and you say, and then you deserve to get 9.
Oh,
but
you're
no,
just a native speaker.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I didn't really appreciate 9 or people who got 9. I mean, you know, if you think about it, 9 is just a number, you know? Even if the whole Uzbekistan, the population of Uzbekistan gets 9, it's like infinite. There's like infinite number of 9, you know? Like everyone in Uzbekistan can get 9 and there'll still be more 9, you know, in IELTS. It never ends. Like, you know, infinite number of people can get 9. Like, if they try,
can get 9 doesn't necessarily mean that they will. And the thing is, I actually don't believe so about everyone can get it if they try, because if you think about it within realistic bounds, like theoretically everybody could get a 9 because everybody is able to take the test if they pay.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean realistically, even if they studied for some X amount of years, they would be able to, because it does require a lot of, I think, specific background that it's difficult to get without that, especially if you're talking about like an academic 9. There's a lot of people who, I don't know, maybe didn't even finish high school.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but what I mean is 9 was just a number for me.
That's true.
It was not like special thing and all the stuff, but now, of course, my view has changed, and now I realize that how much it takes to get 9. But I'm talking about before I got 9.
But like, did you appreciate a 9 just because it's hard to get?
I mean,
does it add any intrinsic value to the 9?
Yeah. I mean, as I said, this is one of the main reasons why I like actually started appreciating it, because it takes a lot of hard work and it's not easy to get. Although some people may think that, oh, that's like simple thing and all the stuff. So before,
I don't think anybody thinks that.
No, I mean, there are some people who tell me that, oh, you know, you're just so lucky. I wish, yes, and all the stuff. Yeah, they just say like people get 9 out of just luck. I wish it was like this. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I can say is, guys, all right, I always tell my students, the time that gives you your real result isn't the time where you're like sitting and working or sitting and studying. It's the time in between. Because it's like when you're traveling somewhere and you're like sitting there and listening to a podcast, not in the like active brain time, but in the passive time when your brain is just like kind of floating around. If you utilize that time, I think that's what really gets you results. I mean, obviously you're kind of converting passive brain time into active by sitting and studying, etc. You know, yeah. But that's kind of one of the things that I always like to talk about. So yeah, that's really cool that you said that. Yeah.
Well, does it improve your like retention or something? Like,
I actually think it's probably the opposite, but I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Because what's the utility of like how exactly passive learning better than active learning?
That's a good question. I think there's several sides to it, right? It comes from the idea of like passive learning itself, like what it is. It's not that I believe that if you're just like, for example, listening to podcasts, you're suddenly going to become a genius. Obviously, it's not about that. But it's more about like the convenience of it, which usually translates into the consistency of it. The volume and the consistency. Exactly. Volume is probably a very big thing. Yeah. So, because there's a lot of dead time throughout the day, which you don't consider. So if your like instinct is to say, oh, I'm not doing anything, oh, I'm going to go study, then suddenly you have a lot more time to study. So yeah, that's...
Because the thing that came to my mind is just like, I think a hunch that when you make English into a passive pastime, then your brain starts to associate itself with English like it was a part of its identity. You know what I mean? Like, because when you just study English in the classroom, then your brain thinks it's something you have to switch on. But when English is a part of your daily routine, then it kind of becomes automatic. Like, you know what I mean?
That. Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. Yeah.
We got to like look into that because it's just,
We should write about that. We should write into it so the students can read about it.
Yeah. And actually, when I was in the USA, I used to have a coordinator, Sheila, and she used to say, okay, guys, so we were like high schoolers from different countries. And she would like, okay, you all have really good English, really great level of English, but you actually can say that you speak English when you actually start dreaming in English. So we high schoolers, like exchange students, used to wait for the time that we actually dreamt in English.
Wow.
I mean, I did several times. I mean,
cool.
Yeah, but it was like after 6 months, about 6 months that I started.
Of being in the program?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot of people. I've had several students who went to the US and they told me that like when you're in the environment all the time, it feels completely different.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to like generate an environment for yourself when you're living in, for example, Uzbekistan. But yeah, that sounds amazing. How was that whole experience? Tell us about that.
It was great. And then speaking of that, like unconscious part of English and all this stuff, I got into a car accident while I was in the USA. So yeah, a big truck came and hit me. Actually, I was in the crosswalk. I was with my bike. So I was riding my bike, and then obviously the driver didn't see me, so he hit me, and I was hospitalized. And so actually, you know, they call 911 and all the stuff. I was a little bit unconscious, so they started asking questions in English. And even though I was pretty much unconscious because I was hit, I remember that I answered in English. Because you wouldn't understand if I spoke any other language. But the only thing is, I think I mispronounced some words because when they said, where do you live with whom? I said, with my host family, but they heard with my husband.
Wow.
And then once I woke up and doctors came to me and said, hey,
Where's
you're
your husband?
you're just 16 and you said you live with your husband.
Oh,
no.
Like,
and I was like, did I say so? You were like, yeah, we wrote it. And I was like, no, I said with my host family. And they were like, oh, okay, now. Then they called my host family.
Wow.
So yeah, the thing is, I was still speaking in English, even though I was pretty much unconscious.
That is so cool. Guys, the takeaway is, if you want to learn English, get hit by a car. Hell yeah.
Yeah, like the guy who became a millionaire and he used to be a drug addict. Like he was telling his success story. He said, so I used to be addicted to drugs. And this is what I did. So the guy's taking notes. So step 1, get addicted to drugs. Instructions unclear. After 30 years, mistakes were made. But you didn't mention that story in the Edu podcast, you know?
About... I mean, yeah, I actually didn't...
Do your parents know that you got hit by it?
Yeah, I was going to hide them from them, but Flex, you know, Flex programs are very transparent. So they wanted my parents let my parents know. So they didn't call my mom, thank God. They called my dad because my dad is like, not like...
level-headed?
Yeah. So they're like, okay, we have one news to tell, like a little bit shocking. Your
Interesting
daughter...
fact.
She's in the hospital, but she's fine.
You were insured, right? Flex insures you. You had insurance.
Yeah, I had insurance. Because it would be a lot of money. A lot.
No more Flex.
Yes.
Bankrupt.
Bankruptcy.
You can't get sick in America.
You cannot.
If you're poor.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just take the death. That's it.
No, but like, I think it must have really made your parents momentarily regret letting you go to America.
They always regret that. I mean, while I was in the USA, I remember my
regardless, even without the accident, you mean?
Yeah, even without the accident,
Why?
they were like too hesitant because, you know, I'm not from Tashkent. I lived my whole life before USA in Kashkadori, in Karsha. So yeah, obviously that's very expected because I am, I think, the first girl who went abroad from my town. Literally the first. I think I'm the last. No, seriously.
For right now. Guys, don't cry. For right now. Good luck, everybody.
For right now, of course, yeah. So yeah, that's very expected because Okay, you started. Now I'll speak some about sexism and all the stuff. Yeah, that's very common in Uzbekistan. I would say that girls don't get the same opportunity as boys. So of course I had disagreements, and then I didn't tell my parents that I'm applying for USA. And Flex is my second program. The first one is Tech Girls. I went with Tech Girls, and then I applied for Flex, and they didn't know about both of them.
And also, can you clarify what Flex is for the people who are watching?
Yeah, so Flex, it's a Future Leaders Exchange program sponsored by the U.S. Department of State, administered by American consuls. It's for post-Soviet countries. Yeah.
You want to get the water?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. This is why I didn't buy a Sony camera, because he's like turning them on and off because they fucking overheat. They get too hot.
Okay, Alex.
Yes. Sorry, guys.
Alex is a camel, you know.
I really am. It's because of my medicine. I'm drinking medicine. It makes me really thirsty.
But have you seen camels drink water?
Say that again.
Have you seen camels drink water?
I have. Yeah. I've always said like they store it in their hump, but obviously they don't. Yeah. They drink a lot. Do you use their tongue or whatever? Oh yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Because it's getting heated.
We would like the podcast to get hot, but not like this.
Yeah. I actually always say that like Uzbek people are more like camels, and the reason is because you guys drink water like, I don't know, once a day. Like in the morning you drink like 1 cup and then never again. If I'm ever like in a hot taxi with a bunch of Uzbek guys, I'll be there like sipping every second of the whole journey. I don't see anybody pick up a water bottle.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just the case with Uzbekistan, because I see some memes on Instagram where how to spot an American tourist, and the guy just gulping a big bottle of water.
Yeah, because water's good, because like this is the stuff that's in your brain. It keeps you healthy. Yeah.
For sure. But like the Americans in particular, they seem to have a
healthy culture of water drinking. Only water. Everything else is not healthy. I will not agree to that. That's, yeah.
Probably yes. I don't want to argue against that. Obviously, hydration is super important.
Yeah, not prime hydration though. That's terrible.
Come again?
Prime hydration.
What's that?
It's Logan Paul's energy drink.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you drink Prime when you were there?
It's a ripoff. No, but we have it here.
No, yeah, because they import it. That's why it costs like 70,000, because they import it from like.
Did you try it?
I did. It's disgusting. It's an energy drink. It's just like Red Bull or something. It's really bad.
Yeah. But Red Bull is lovely.
Red Bull is nice. It's like the shitty version of Red Bull. It's not nice. Yeah, it's not an energy drink per se. It's a hydration drink. So it's kind of it's like salty, a little bit. Yeah,
with electrolytes.
Exactly. That's the advertisement they use. Electrolytes actually don't mean anything.
Have you tried
Gatorade?
LMNT or Element? They call it.
I've seen it. It's like popular. It's here, right?
I don't.
No, we don't have it.
You just drink water.
No, not the energy drinks, but electrolytes.
No.
Do you get electrolytes in the morning?
No.
Should you? Like
what?
Electrolytes.
Electrolytes. Oh.
Yeah, basically just salt.
Okay.
if you are poor, then
it's just salt.
Just a pinch of salt in your water.
Wow.
Because when you're apparently, and again, this is probably science backed, your body needs a lot of electrolytes in the morning. Yeah, for proper hydration.
Interesting.
But Element is this drink which Modern Wisdom, Chris Williamson, promotes in every single podcast. And I would really love to try it. I asked my friends from America to fetch Element, but they don't have the halal version yet. They do offer the kosher version, which is also fine. Like if they have the kosher version,
then that also works for somebody who sticks to halal.
That would not. I actually emailed them.
Wow. Did they answer?
Yeah, they did answer.
Wow. And what did they say? What's the ETA for the halal version?
So they said they don't offer halal Element yet, but from next year, all of their Element is going to be kosher certified.
Oh, okay.
Nice. I mean, I don't know. I don't drink energy drinks. I don't drink whatever you call it, ultralight or something. I just may drink water and sometimes put some lemon into it. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you want to add something to that? Because I was going to...
Can I add lemon into my water?
Actually, it makes it more fun.
It does. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
It's not just bare water, but you're drinking something.
Or ice.
Yeah.
People here have no idea what ice is. Zero ice. You have everything with ice, right?
Yeah,
America, ice.
Even in winter.
Yes. And iced tea. People here drink just like tea, like always hot.
Yeah.
Iced tea.
Yeah. We have iced tea, though.
Well, okay.
Because
but you guys have,
USA,
like,
you know,
lived in it.
USA stands for like United States of Ice.
It's true. It's ICE. Yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
Gulasal was mentioning something really interesting. She said that something about the gender roles, you know, like women in Uzbekistan.
Women in Uzbekistan. Okay, I thought you were asking about gender roles in the USA.
That's also an interesting topic.
Because I lived with an American
How many
family.
genders are there?
Wait, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm
A
talking.
lot.
I don't know. I just
No,
got here.
I mean.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Listen, that's actually a very interesting topic. Tell us about your host family because people don't know this.
I'd
but
love
like,
to.
What is a host family? That's a great question. Yeah.
So, first of all, host families, they are volunteers. They don't get paid for hosting us. And they're basically our American family. Depends still on many factors. If you are a really good kid, then they're going to call you kid. If you are naughty a little bit, then you'll be just an exchange student for them. No, seriously. And then, you know, I used to call them mom and dad. I mean, I still do. I still call them not with their first names, not with their last names, but I literally call them mom and dad. And then, you know, my Uzbek family used to get jealous sometimes. I would be like, my American dad is calling. And all this time, my dad would be like, how many dads do you have? Come on, sit down. Tell me.
Are you cheating on me with another dad? How dare you?
I mean, yeah, but I can say that they're also my parents. But yeah, we had really good relationships. So they don't get paid, but they paid for they covered most of our expenses. Like they bought us clothes, they gave us food, they gave us accommodation. Really, really nice.
Were
treatment.
they like rich? Because you said they adopted 5 kids.
Yeah. They adopted 5 kids, but they had like 17 or 20 because they had kids after me as well. Like they had exchange students after me as well, like 4 more, I guess. Now this year, I got an email that they stopped hosting, which is kind of sad because they were like really, really nice host family. So never mind. So what I was talking about?
The question was about what is a host family. Yeah. So yeah, basically it's a family that like takes in foreign kids, foreign exchange students for the program. Also, to be honest, yeah, most host families I've heard of, they are so rich. Yeah. I wish I could go to a host family because I want to be like fathered by a rich family. That is cool. Those are some connections with a capital C.
And I lived in a beach house, so that's pretty expensive house.
Where?
It's like
where were you?
Lake Ontario. In Rochester, New York.
Okay.
So we were like, let's say 1 hour drive away from Niagara Falls, Buffalo. And, you know, Niagara Falls.
I think that's a nice place. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. That's a nice place. Okay, Rochester isn't like expensive,
yeah.
but it's nice. Yeah. And plus having like a something near water, that's like, water.
And our house was right on the beach of Lake Ontario. So it was so pretty, very, very.
What season was it? Did you guys go swimming?
Yeah, I went there in summer and came back in summer. So I experienced all 4 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Living everybody's dream.
So basically in the house, there were 2 people with a driving license. We didn't have driving license, but they were, you know how many cars? 4 cars.
The parents had driving licenses or their own children? Right?
No, I mean, they didn't live with their children. They were all grown up, and then they lived separately.
Do you know why she mentioned about the cars? It's not so in Uzbekistan when people talk about cars, it's because when you buy a car, you're rich.
Yeah,
you have a lot of money. You have a car. But in the US, the thing is, like, if you don't have a car, you're stuck in your house. That's it. You can't go anywhere because there's no
public transport.
There's none. You have a car. That's your public transport, and the public is the people who live in your house. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like, you can't go anywhere without a car. At zero at all.
And you know, another...
I think by now it's clear who is the imposter who didn't live in the States.
Just smile and agree.
Yeah.
Because we have 2 people who went to the States and we got 1 imposter. We have 2 people who got 9 in IELTS and we have 1 imposter.
We still haven't found out who that is. We'll find out towards the end of the episode. Yeah. Guys, leave your guesses in the comments.
We got 2 people who speak Uzbek and 1 imposter.
Yeah. Kim. We don't know. We don't leave your guesses in the comments, guys. Who's the imposter? Yeah. So you were saying?
Yeah. So another reason why we can think that they are pretty rich because they don't show off, you know, their clothes. They don't wear like brand, you know, clothes or designer clothes. They just wear regular clothes that they have been wearing for 10 years.
I mean, if my regular clothes were made in the States, in America, would you
wear them for like 15 years? My host dad literally wore the same T-shirt for 15 years.
That's how men are. What about her?
I mean, the same.
Yeah. Also, Becca's like, me.
I can imagine.
I mean, to be fair, that's yeah.
Oh yeah, but the same thing with my host family.
Because like the American clothes are actually pretty high end. Like here, like polo, you have.
But polo is quite high end, not completely, but quite. Like I guess Under Armour is like kind of mid tier,
or Old Navy.
Old Navy, yeah. That's another one that's like
my host mom used to wear clothes from Old Navy, which is pretty cheap actually compared to others. I mean, other brands. So another reason that we can think that they are rich is they send their kids to Ivy Leagues. My host dad graduated from Cornell. Wow. My host brother and his wife graduated from Princeton.
Wow.
My another host brother graduated from like number one, I think, University of Toronto or something.
Wow. Like I have no idea what
very,
that is.
very like top Toronto. Ranking. Yeah, something like this. I can't really quite remember, but it was in Canada.
So when you say sent, you mean they paid for them to go?
Of course
there.
they paid.
Wow, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's wow.
And
like, what's the tuition fee like there? Like
for Princeton, I don't know, but it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. I think it's like not less than $100K per year.
$100K
per year.
Yeah. And also there's accommodation, food, textbook, all that stuff.
$100K is like so much money.
Per year, rather. 4 years.
4 years.
Like if we were to put all our savings together here in this room, we would have to add another $100K to that.
Probably. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah. Because
we don't have savings.
Guys, we have no savings.
Now,
we were talking about having money. Money is great to have. We don't have it yet. We're on the way. No savings.
Yeah, so.
And your host family was very rich. Tell us about your sister from Egypt.
Oh, wow. Nice question. You really did some research. Okay, so my Egyptian sister, I love her, but in the beginning we couldn't really get on well because of maybe cultural differences. Because, Egyptians are loud. This is, I don't know, maybe I'm being too, let's say, I don't know, stereotypical about them. I don't know how to call it.
Racist?
Yeah, let's call this this way.
Wow.
But yes, she was too loud and I didn't really like this. And we had a lot of differences. I was more focused on academic life and all the stuff. She was more focused on having fun. So she used to knock on my door and then say, Asal, do you want to go out? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And I would be like, no, thank you. I have to study all this stuff. So I was a good girl. And so we didn't really match. And she was a little bit opinionated about different things. So
like what?
Different things.
Different things. Okay. But maybe we should cut this part. She was a little bit. She has opinions about Jewish people, and all that stuff. So
okay. Well.
Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising for Egypt to have that opinion because it's
they're really close.
They are neighboring.
That would make sense
to Palestine.
Okay.
But never mind. So, but we started getting on well. I think it's because we were both away from our actual biological families and we kind of missed our countries. This is what made us closer because there has been some instances where we actually didn't want to share some stuff with our host family because it was too hard to share, maybe about the things that we faced in the USA. So we used to share that with each other. We used to protect each other at school because it's not easy to be from a different country in the US high school. It's so hard.
There's a lot of bullying there.
No, we didn't let people bully us. We might have bullied Americans, but we didn't let them bully us. But there was one guy, a couple of guys, and who told my...
And it's getting worse and worse, progressively over the years. I've heard horror stories. I'm really happy I'm a teacher here and not in the US, because in the US, especially being a school teacher, if you compare the stuff that maybe Uzbek students do, right? Some teachers maybe they might complain, they say, oh, they're not studying, oh, they want to be, oh yeah, they want to be like that, oh, that's so terrible. That's child's play compared to the types of stuff. Yeah. So I'm happy you survived.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of Uzbeks probably doesn't really speak to them when you mention racism and stuff like that, because Uzbekistan is a very, what's the right word? What's the opposite of metropolitan? One nationality.
Unmetropolitan. Wait a sec. Well, okay, one second. Calm down, Uzbek. You got people in Uzbekistan who speak like Kazakh language. You have people like in the West that are like Karakalpak, literally just like a completely different like group of people. And you're saying it's all the same, really?
Yeah.
And Tajik people in Samarkand and Bukhara, and it's like all mixed. And you think that Uzbekistan is like all the same?
Yes. If you go to Fergana Valley, where I'm from, it's 99% Uzbeks. Yeah. And so I had this very close friend of mine, whose name is Wadim from high school, and we were really close friends. Like we were, like, what do you call, best friends, besties. And one day we got into this exchange about nationalities. You know what I mean? And I may have said something that really triggered him. Like he just started crying, and obviously I was just playing. Like I didn't really mean to hurt his feelings, but at the same time, probably I didn't understand the gravity of my words. You know what I mean? Because as someone who hasn't really interacted with other nations, I don't know what it means to say something racist. Yeah. And the guy just literally started crying. Yeah. Because he was expecting me as his closest friend to be protective rather than, making these racist comments. And so when Gulasal mentions these problems in American high schools, it actually doesn't resonate with the Uzbek audience because they actually don't know what it means to be picked at, bullied for their race. You know what I mean?
But yeah, just to make things clear, I didn't get bullied. Okay, I didn't get bullied. But I've seen people who got bullied. And, people experience different stuff. They go to different high schools. For example, we had 30 kids from Uzbekistan going to different states. Maybe they experienced the whole different thing than I did experience. Maybe they experienced bullying. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was like bullying. But yeah, there were like, of course, some comments. They would be like, do you write donkeys to school in Uzbekistan? Yes, stuff like that. I think it's not just.
I mean, the funny thing is, there probably are some people that do. I mean, probably not the people who went to flex, but there are because I mean, like, yeah, because why not? Yeah.
Yeah, or like I remember they asked my Egyptian friends if they live in pyramids, like inside pyramids, and they used to joke. That would be
epic. I would love to. Hell yeah.
And you know, and they were so chill. They said, yeah, of course. They have one pyramid. This is for Neira. We have another pyramid for my friend Adham. Wow. So our pyramid is like close by. Can you imagine?
We got to make like the next podcast a house renovation where we build each of us a pyramid and we just live inside. We're not Egyptian. We got to buy donkeys to go to school. That's the podcast.
Yeah, but how would you what kind of racist comments would you make against like Uzbeks,
I wanted to bring that up actually.
Yeah.
I think the reason why you are more or less protected, or I think most of the
because people have no idea what Uzbekistan is.
Yes, that's right.
Are you from Pakistan?
Yeah, Pakistan.
And just like the fact that it's Stan at the end, I guess they connect it to like maybe Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So, but they actually don't realize that it has nothing to do with it at all. It's like completely different culture. So there's nothing they could say about you because they have no idea. Yeah.
And America is a very interesting world. I wouldn't say a country, but a world. Because in my house, in my American house, we had a globe, the world globe. And, I couldn't find Uzbekistan because all Istans were part of Russia. Can you imagine? And this is the globe.
Maybe it was like a Soviet globe.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a Soviet globe.
I don't know, but still, like, why would you, like, use it?
For your information, at some point in history, all of these places were a part of Russia.
But still, I think it's time to renew the globe.
Hence why, when you say Uzbekistan has so many nationalities...
that's not your fault. Yeah, that's...
No. They don't feel like other nationalities. I tell you what, in 2018, I went to this water security symposium in Bishkek. Yeah. And there were a bunch of other guys from other countries like Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. Now, the Kazakhs and Kyrgyzs, they hated each other for reasons beyond the scope of my knowledge, I would say, because...
And 9 phrase right there.
I don't know, maybe it's just them, but every single Kyrgyz I talked to just hated the Kazakhs. Yeah. I have no idea why. But anyway, we were having this chit-chat in the evening, yeah, everybody was talking Russian, and Russian is kind of our like native language. Yeah, I mean it doesn't really feel like a second language.
There's a word for it when it's like the language that connects everybody, like how English is for most people in the
Lingua
world.
franca.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of the thing that connects you all.
And like it didn't feel like we were from other countries. It felt like we were, and you know what? Russian. I love Russian because it doesn't have like accents like English does. Like if you were
That's not true. That is false. That is false. I can tell you guys. I have talked to people who like lived in Russia. It's not, I mean, okay, maybe not like accents, although accents do exist. I think mostly it's dialect. The words that you use, a lot of them are influenced or I guess colored by where you grew up. So if you go to like Russia, for example, they will be able to tell within a day, within a second, within a conversation that you're from Uzbekistan.
No, that's true. In terms of vocabulary, some words may differ. Just like in Uzbek, like if you go to Fergana, why they say bas instead of mas, like,
Bas?
You should ask them right now. Guys, tell us in the comments right now, please.
Like what?
Why? What does that mean?
It's beautiful, by the way. My grandma is from Fergana. Like I'm not trying to.
What does it mean, Aqaba?
Yeah, bas is basically mas.
Bas is mess?
Yes, in Fergana. You haven't talked to anyone from Fergana?
No. Actually, tomorrow I'm flying to Fergana. Tomorrow.
Where are you meeting there?
I'm going there for a ielts training show, something.
Oh, wow. They're continuing that?
Yeah, obviously.
From ielts Zone?
Yeah, from ielts Zone.
I hate that show.
Like what?
I'll tell you what. I had all of my close friends. Why didn't you come to my wedding?
I was sick at that time, I think, or there was something going on. I couldn't come. I couldn't.
Now that I think about it, because I clearly remember inviting two guys from ielts Zone, both of whom have a 9, but I'm not gonna say their names, and they didn't show up because they had a ielts training in Fergana.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Oh, okay. It was last year. Last year as well.
Right. Wow, that's exactly what happened. Wait a second. Did I go to the training?
Yeah, you went, I think.
No.
They told me that you went last year.
That's a really good question. I'm not sure. Because if I went to the training, I'm like 99% sure I was planning to go to your wedding like by car with the other guy from ielts Zone.
Like, would you, like, I think it's, yeah, I know it pays your bills, your job pays your bills, but like your friend.
Wait a second. Pause. Bro, calm down. Wait a second. Are you sure I was there in Fergana?
No.
But I am sure that you went because they told me that you went. Why didn't you go to his wedding? Like, why would you? He's your friend, Alex. Come on.
I'm getting accused of things I didn't know.
Like
It wasn't me.
Fergana and Andijan, they're like one step away from each other.
But even if you were sick and stayed back in Tashkent, you would probably not have chosen to go to Andijan. So you're guilty either way.
Yeah.
What? I didn't know.
Like, what the heck?
Okay, guys, if you are from Fergana, tell us if all of this is true or not, or if it's a scam against me. I don't believe you guys. You are conspiring, all right? This is against me. It's a conspiracy. No. Okay, no, for real though. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I did apologize, but like I am genuinely sorry I missed your wedding. I'm sure it was epic.
We can actually pull it up. Hey, Jamie.
Just like in the background. Here's the thing though. I have more chances to be at your weddings.
Wait a second. I remember what happened. You said you were moving.
I was moving.
And you even had tickets.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that's exactly what happened. Yeah. There was something with my landlord. Yeah, I wasn't sick. I was moving. It always happens to me at the worst times. Yeah. Wow. I think I probably have the pictures for that as well with all the dates as well.
So I want to run a quick test just because Gulasal brings it.
It's going to be
she brought it up.
Now. This is part 3.
No. It's an Uzbek test. We want to test her Uzbek.
Time for the Uzbek test.
Oh.
Yeah, guys.
I don't get good comments about my Uzbek all the time, especially at ielts Zone. I get bullied most of the time because of my Uzbek. There's one guy. He also has 9. Should I mention his name? No, not Dauthan. Dauthan is a really nice guy. There's one guy, Ildurja Mukhtar, who bullies me every day at work for my Uzbek. You know how it's hard to get bullied? No, literally, he's my colleague.
Jealous. Maybe
no,
he's
I mean,
jealous.
it's a joke, of course. I bully him too. I invented...
For what?
Like, I mean, for different things. But I invented a new word, bullable. Have you heard of this word?
Wow. Is it somebody who can be bullied?
Yep.
Wow.
And I say, Mr. Ilderjan, you're so bullable. And then
Is bullyable? I think it should be bullyable.
No,
No, that's not beautiful. It's beautiful to say bullable. It sounds good in the... Yeah.
Okay, so
All
here,
right.
can I read it?
Uh-huh.
Alex, did you get a ticket yet? Did you get a ticket yet? Brother, hello. I have bad news. My landlord told us to move out this week, so I have to move a bunch of stuff on these days. I did buy the tickets, but now I can't just leave here to move the stuff. It's very unfortunate. Ouch. Sorry, man.
How is this an Uzbek test, though?
No, this is a different one.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
different test.
Yeah.
This is a truth test. That's a fact. That's what happened. Yeah.
But at least I appreciate because you bought the tickets.
I bought the tickets. I had to
That
return them. It
counts.
sucks.
That counts because actions are judged by their intentions.
But we will cut this part, okay? No, joking.
You don't want him to find out.
Yeah, I don't want them to find out.
Hello, Mr. Bulabal. We know everything about you now.
So here's the test. I'm gonna spit out a couple of words which are mostly only used in Fergana Valley.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and you will try to decipher their meaning.
Okay, sure. That would be fine. Let's
Good.
go.
So the first word is easy. Let's go easy.
I'm also going to participate,
Okay,
by the
sure,
way.
sure.
By the
Let's
way.
go.
Jicha.
A little bit.
I think that is correct.
Yeah.
What would be
I
a
can verify.
Tashkent alternative to that?
Kichkina.
No. Salik. Ozgina.
Yes, correct.
Ozgina.
Azgina, they
Yes.
say, yeah.
Ozgina.
Good.
Yes.
Next word. Jija.
Gigi? I know.
It's
you
a
know?
type of food.
No. It means a baby.
Yes.
Because you know, I have a friend from Andijan. He used the same word, jijicha, something. It means baby.
2-1.
I mean, hey, technically I'm still correct. It could be a type of food.
Bro, we're gonna get cancelled. Thankfully, we don't have the cancel.
All right, fine. I'll give you this one. 2-1.
2-1.
Okay. All right, let's keep going.
Shakarop.
Shakarop, it's a type of food. Shakarop, it's a type of food.
I'm not going to steal her
Wait.
answer.
Wait,
What's
this is what
A
is
sweet type of food.
Isn't it the melon?
Imposter.
Wait.
It's the most unsweet food.
Shakarop. Isn't it melon?
Nope. Shakarop is actually no. She didn't get it. It's still 2-1.
It's a type of food.
It's still 2-1. Yeah, it's achuchu.
Really? You guys call it shakarop?
Like a salad?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Now
that was close.
Wow, dude, I just got a flashback. Someone actually told me that and I didn't remember. Someone told me that we were eating at like it was some place, some Uzbek restaurant, and they said, "Oh, this is shakarop." And I was like, "No, that's achshuk." The green, like the onion and tomato, right? Like, yeah. Wow.
So let's just do 2 more words.
Okay.
Okay. And the first one to get to 3 wins.
Wow.
Shata.
Shatte? Shatte.
It's when you want somebody to be quiet. And you
It's a
say,
noun.
"Shut
It's a noun.
Shatte. No. Shatte. It's a noun, yeah? It means... Wait, I had this. Shatte. Shatte.
Shatila berip trila.
Shatte. Shatte?
Shata? I mean, what's shata? Okay. You're just changing the...
Shatte. Shatte. It's like the thing that you do. أنا تتقوق أتكلم أنا قلادي
Yeah, like what's the English word? Okay.
Narmon.
Yes!
I would have never guessed that. I don't even know what that means.
The latter. The latter.
Really?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Because I heard that word when people like picking fruit, and they said, "Bring this."
Wow.
But we in my region we call this narvan, just narvan. But shatte, I heard it somewhere. I don't know. Maybe.
And I'm going to leave the last word to the people listening to the podcast.
Right in the
Commented,
comments.
yeah.
Yeah.
The last word used in Andijan, probably exclusively in Andijan, and it's an adjective, teppa.
Tippa.
Leave your interpretation of the word in the comments section
I don't know that word.
Yeah, me neither.
because it was like the hardest level.
Ooh.
It's
Thank you.
S tier word.
So who won? Did I win?
Yes,
Yeah,
congratulations.
You got 3 points. You got that. Yes. I'm
Of
happy.
course,
Wow.
of course. If I want it, I get it. Okay. I wanted it. Now I got it.
She wanted a 9. She did get it. She applied for flex. She did get it. Also, the meeting with the president. You have achieved like
More than Abdurazak.
we had to
Why
bring
him?
him up. Yeah.
Do you have a Kia yet?
No.
Would you like to buy a car? No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't because I don't like the idea of driving a car. Like I don't really enjoy it.
Do you like the idea of having somebody drive you around?
Yep. And I do have this person actually.
Wow. Yandex Taxi. Hell yeah.
Bismillah.
No, I meant a different thing. But yeah. If I wanted a car, I would have gotten it because...
Yeah.
Because everybody can.
Everybody.
By your logic, yeah, anybody can make $1 million. So
You can.
I mean, I can. So I'm not talking about everyone.
Obviously, like a car, it's one of these things that have become like a big status symbol in our society. The car, the big house, yeah, a big posh wedding.
Yeah.
And some people say, the economists say this, and it kind of makes sense. I'm not really sure that our economy is being held back by these values,
I have heard, I got to mention on that note about, I don't know if you're into football. I'm not, but like I'm outside of the football sphere. And even I have heard of this. So, Husanov, right? Abdulkadir Husanov, the guy, everybody knows the guy.
Yeah,
you know him,
I
right?
know.
So as far as I know, has he gotten removed from his team because he like has started slacking because he went on to get married? Is that, did I hear like some fake news or did I misinterpret something? I've heard that
I think he's still playing because he was in the world champion match, I think.
I've heard of that. I have heard of that. So that would make sense that what I've heard is not true. But it's like I've heard that, he's been on the back bench, because when he got the contract, he got all this money and he was like, you know what I should do? I should go and have a wedding and buy a car. That's what I've heard. Has he gotten married? Does he have a car? Can you call him and find out? Or is he busy right now?
Yeah, I got a meeting with him after this podcast.
Oh, you just ask him. He'll tell us. He'll call us as well.
Of course, yeah. No, but seriously, the car, anything that's material is super overrated.
It's not for me.
You agree that it's overrated?
Yeah, I agree it's overrated, but it's not the measure of success for me.
What is by the way, one of the questions is...
That's an IELTS question. That's a great one. Let's do it.
No, it's not an IELTS question. Yeah.
It is an IELTS question.
Here. If money and followers were not part of the equation, Gulasal, and then we'll toss it back to you, what would be your definition of success? If money and followers, fame, didn't matter.
Well...
Sorry, before you say the answer, do you want to all say it at the same time so that we all have original thoughts? How about we all just think about it and then we count 1, 2, 3 and then we say
No, but it's not like a one word.
Well, okay, but usually it can be summarized. In general, it's one word and then there's like a deeper explanation behind it.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Because I want to know unfiltered thoughts.
Yeah.
So on the count of 3 or what?
On the count of 3.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Wait, let me think about the answer for you.
It can be more than one word. If it's like 2 or 3 words, that's fine.
Okay, I got one word. Okay.
All right, you ready?
Do you have it?
Yeah.
So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Happiness.
Legacy.
I said happiness.
Me
You
too.
also said...
Happiness.
And what did you say?
That's
I
hilarious.
said legacy.
Oh, okay.
Wow, he's going to be remembered. Wow.
Nice,
All right.
nice.
So then let's start with you and let's go around and let's discuss.
Yeah, actually happens is like so broad. Very, very broad thing. And success actually, for me, actually, it might surprise some people. It has surprised most of my friends, but it's not materialistic things. Yeah. So for me, happens can be, success can be having happens, joy from what you're doing. That's why, I'm not really in rush. For example, moving from the IELTS community because I love what I'm doing. Okay, so all the stuff. So yeah, and freedom. If you have freedom, yeah, that's what I love to do. It's number one thing. I don't want to be chained that much. So yeah, having freedom, fun, happiness, love, I would say. You can receive love and you should also be able to love something. For example, let's say there might be... You talked about Kyrgyz hating Kazakhs, yes? Imagine...
Kyrgyz
yes,
hating some Kazakhs.
Yes. So imagine if if you pay attention, there's a lot of hate in this world, yes? People hate each other. So I would feel really successful if I don't have hate, that much hate. I do have hate towards some people, but I would try to control it. And this is success for me because I'm not really much involved in the hating process, but instead I'm loving and sharing love, sharing energy,
So
sharing
you don't hate
positivity.
anybody?
I do hate people. We just talked in the
She
past.
wants to control it.
Yeah, but yeah.
No, but is there a justified, righteous kind of hate?
Not really. I mean,
Like,
yeah.
would you also like not hate Hitler, for example?
Okay, she was talking about her definition of happiness. Let's calm down. Let's take a step back. Let's take a step back. Take a step back.
Yeah, I'm just,
I think
clarifying.
In a philosophical way, that's true. But the point is, that's a universal belief, which means that on that grounds, everybody would be believing that. So there would be no theoretical person that is supposed to be hated who is accepted to be hated.
Oh.
So it's kind of more of a universal idea.
Like,
obviously, there are people who we justifiably hate, but that's because we don't live in a perfect world, and there are people who should technically be hated.
So like, if everybody was a perfect human being, you wouldn't hate anybody.
Exactly, because then the point of a perfect
that makes sense. Why would you hate angels?
But you're striving towards that. It's about the journey rather than the destination. Yeah.
Yes.
But I guess like it's kind of like outside of your control, like not to hate.
Happiness is also outside of our control, technically speaking.
Really? Is it?
More or less. It is within our... Okay, brother. So you were saying you didn't get to the end, did you? Are you finished?
It's kind of, yeah. I think I'm finished.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I think that there are levels to it. I don't think it's something that we can say is 100% within our control. The way I like to put it is, it's a very common psychological thing that like psychiatrists say. You cannot control the outside factors, but you can control your reaction to them. And I don't believe that happiness should always be the reaction to everything. Obviously, like if you break your leg, you can't be like, well, at least I have my other one. I think that's ridiculous, right? And it's not about always being happy. It's about striving towards making gradual changes. That's kind of the thing. You're, the what was the atomic habit of being happy? Not in the like toxic productivity way, but more like I'm always thinking about what is worth it in my life to spend my time on, and spend my time on that which makes me happy. And yeah, so basically, do you want me to continue then? What is my definition of happiness?
Of course.
So here's the main thing. I really love your definition, and I want to add to it because we obviously have the same answer.
Yeah.
It's happiness. For me, it's about this thing. I'm not like a brain scientist, so I'm going to say some total BS, but you know how there's like dopamine in your brain, which is happiness, they call it the happiness molecule, but the happiness that it's relevant to is like short-term happiness. So it's like, for example, you, drink some Coca-Cola and it hits your brain and you're like, oh, sweet drink, delicious, happy, wow. Or maybe you do something in the moment that makes you happy and it's a momentary thing, right? Delicious food, petting a dog, something that makes you happy, a cat in your case, Mashuk. But there's another molecule of happiness, which is like Serotonin, exactly, which is kind of more of a long-term thing. So I like to think of my definition of success as happiness as that. It's not necessarily about kind of bodily pleasures, the worldly desires, right? Like doing something that makes you feel nice for the moment, but more like long-term goals. Obviously, it's much more boring, right? Like if we actually think about that, long-term goals aren't in the moment. It's something that you're looking at in the future, and it's very difficult, me included. I have very big problems with them, but I think that is one of the only ways to truly measure how happy you are, by looking at how far it is you've come. Not compared to other people, but compared to yourself. How far have you come? Yeah.
I agree. And then people sometimes ask me, Gulasal, you are like 24/7 very, very happy. Actually, I'm a very positive person, and I at least try to see positivity in every single case. For example, you talked about breaking your leg. Oh. If I break my leg, then I would be like, okay, I broke my leg, but I'm happy because I can stay at home. I don't have to go to work. Yeah.
When I broke my toe, I still worked at ielts Zone. Actually, when I was working at ielts Zone, I had a broken toe. That's a true story.
That's like
Still,
it brings tears to my eyes because no was it like when the ielts hub
it was when we played football. We all met up to play football before the game even started. I broke my toe immediately.
Did you choose to work or did he make you work? Like which one?
No, I chose to work. I said I'm gonna come
so
exactly
by your own choice.
Exactly. Did you think they made me work? Like, you broke your leg, you better come in, I'm gonna break those crutches over your dumb head.
I think the saddest part about that broken toe was the fact that you didn't even get to play football. Like, I understand if it was in the process.
It was before the game started. I always say that.
And it was our first meeting ever of the infamous ielts hub. Have you heard about the IELTS hub?
I heard, actually. And the first thing that I heard about, the first time, it was so, I can't describe how I felt, but I don't know where I heard this, but I saw that maybe in Dothan's channel. There were like a couple of IELTS guys gathering, and then they had their own community, which they didn't exclusive of females. And I was like, come on, guys.
Hey, for a while, that was incidental. That was an
Really?
accident. For a while, because there just weren't any people that would probably be interested in being there. Like, I mean, maybe Miss Mamura, possibly, but realistically, no, because she has stuff to do. She's like a grown woman, right? But now that there are technically females who would be interested in being there.
No, but like, is your like benchmark for the IELTS hub getting a 9? Like, because there are plenty of other female IELTS instructors.
Sure.
Well,
sure.
I mean, yeah, getting a 9. Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of.
I mean, yeah, it could be anyone involved in this process. I mean,
but would you like to? Because I did make this offer to, not to add any females into the IELTS.
Did you make this offer to Christina?
Christina, no, because we are like, I have known her for a week or so.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But I did offer this to Mukhtasar, possibly to Marfat Jamal.
Really?
Can't really recall.
What did you offer? Did you offer, like, I know that you guys go and hang out, eat osh and all that stuff, right? But I know that there is like a Telegram group called IELTS Hub.
It's not just eating osh. It's a whole community of self-development and striving for living a legacy in the world.
Did you guys stay in a camp or something?
We did many
Basically?
things together.
Oh, yeah.
We went to a lot of dachas. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't want to go to dachas with you guys, but... No,
Excuse you.
I mean, seriously, I know that you really want me to be in your community. I know that.
Listen, okay, technically, all right, you got to do a lot to be invited to a dacha. Okay, you got to... The list of standards ends there.
No, I mean, I got that part. I mean, yeah. And, but still, I think you guys have like a Telegram group or something.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so we don't have to go and then hang out and then like you guys do, or like talk in person every time, but we can still be in this community, let's say online at least.
There like unofficially, there are a lot of female instructors who are kind of part of the IELTS hub, because they are by extension. So again, Mukhtasar English, Barno Muqimwa, MJ,
Asal
who? Asal Khan Sharipova?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, she has been for a while, I guess, but recently she's been kind of doing her own thing, more or less.
So yeah, Rukhshana Uralova. Should I add her?
But she's also been doing her own thing. I think she's like focused on her studies right now.
No, but like the thing is, if you wanted to do something, then we could reach out to them potentially.
Exactly.
The thing about like female Niners is that they have husbands. I mean,
bro, calm down, bro.
No, the females in general, they have. I mean, yeah, you gotta put it like.
Say what you're gonna say. Say what you're gonna say. Say it full chest, open chest. Say it. Say what you mean.
I think it would be unbefitting for a woman with a husband to be affiliated with not just the IELTS hub, but any hub.
Well, that's true though.
Well, okay. So, okay. All right. Okay, one thing. Okay, woman. But why focus on the woman? Why not focus on it as a professional thing? It's somebody who is a fellow teacher. Okay, here's the thing. To be completely honest with you, I don't really go this way, that way. Like, you guys have your own thing. I don't want to be the guy who's like setting the standard of tolerance, because that's not my thing. Like, I'm not going to change anything, and I don't want to. Yeah, I think it's a really funny topic for one main reason, because I think you guys should make your own IELTS hub and make it cooler than ours.
I actually thought of that.
And then we can have like a football competition and you guys will win. It'll be great. It'll be epic.
Yeah, I can help you with that. Yeah, I know some people.
Yeah, help me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would be really funny though if you were the one who's the head of
our women like I don't think they don't have the proclivity for collaboration. Like they. Am I being sexist?
Full chest. Just say it. Just go for it. Go for it. It's your podcast.
Okay, let me put it that way. Women are by nature I'm trying to keep it civil, obviously.
Yes.
Look, I'm a liberal conservative. Okay, I have
That's
a lot
true.
of liberal.
That is very true. Yes.
Yeah, I am the most liberal conservative out there. Whatever the heck that means, like a liberal conservative.
Thank you.
And I feel like a lot of the treatment that our sisters get in Uzbekistan, maybe in Central Asia as a whole, is biased and unjustified, and it needs to be changed. So, for example, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but when you have something to say, silence is a lie. The way we treat kelens, daughters-in-law, like I feel like we're denigrating their status as a human being in some sense, because I don't want to speak for all families. Obviously, my family is definitely not in this discussion. The moment the woman gets married, her, I would say, academic pursuit ends there for a lot of sisters.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think this is totally wrong. And again,
this is profound. It's really cool, actually.
Because, yeah, their entire existence is then reduced to just catering for the house, which is not a bad thing per se, but given all the potential talent that we are basically destroying, and also think about their lives. That woman had dreams.
Yeah.
She had aspirations. She had potential. And it's just gone, reduced to atoms.
Was that a Thanos snap? Did you? Thanos just makes all of the futures gone.
You don't have to clean the house every day. Like, you don't have to sweep it's not something you would do, because it seems like a lot of the things we do is just for the sake of other people. Because why would you sweep the outside part of your house? I don't know how to call it. Like,
like the lawn. Yeah, like the part which is adjacent to the street. Like
every single day.
In the morning.
Yes. First thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So I think that sisters have to be encouraged to study, but at the same time, I take big issue with sisters who think that studying at Inyaz is studying, because that's not what I mean by real studying. Because you just get a useless degree, absolutely, totally worthless when you get a degree in English and English literature. Like, what does it do to society? It does absolutely nothing. You're just learning a language.
I mean, I do disagree, but English literature is really cool. But yeah, that's a valid point. I gotta say one thing, guys. If you're studying in Inyaz, is your degree worthless? Please leave it down in the comments below.
No, like because by extension, all diplomas which don't give you real knowledge. Because I think
how do you define real knowledge?
Hard sciences. Easy. Hard sciences.
I disagree. I definitely disagree with that, because the thing is, and I think it's actually kind of funny because, like, you study comp sci, right? You studied comp sci, which
I approve of.
Yeah, I mean, comp sci is technically speaking a hard science.
But she doesn't want to continue.
Here's the thing.
I do.
Oh, you do?
I said, like, I'll stay a little bit longer in the IELTS community, but then I'll work in my field, of course. Yeah.
Comp sci, you better watch out. Well, anyway, yeah. So here's the thing. Programming is a language. So when you're learning something like Python, don't you think, technically speaking, it's something that's adjacent to learning English or English literature? I mean, obviously literature, very different, but programming is a language, and the way that people approach it in many ways is quite similar to learning a language. There's the same stuff of memorization, the structure, the syntax, right?
That's right, but I mean, still depends.
It's not,
because by just going to university, I don't think that I'm getting a lot of knowledge. A lot of it is self-study. But not many people.
Because you're in college.
I mean, even without college, I could have gotten a job in IT or programming.
Okay, like, can I just
without a degree? Don't you?
Further elaborate on this point a little bit, because I know I'll get a lot of hate for just saying that the degree in IELTS is worthless, because my mom works there.
Oh no! Have you told her this? Have you talked about this with her?
I mean, I do obviously make some comments which might upset her, and like, wow, I don't mean it though. Like,
I'm sending her a link to the podcast actually as soon as it's out.
So, but when I say INIAS, I mean all universities by extension. It's just an example, because a lot of sisters study at INIAS. So I think that it's what do you call a problem that it's on its own? Like it just makes it, like, the problem itself compound, like a
self-propagating issue.
I heard this like yesterday, this phrase, a problem that makes the problem itself worse,
She was meeting the president yesterday while you were learning this phrase. Just think about that.
So, but anyhow, for many sisters, and I don't want to speak on their behalf, but it's just my observation, objective observation, the university is a form of escape in two senses. If you're not married, the university will protect you from getting married early. Mm-hmm. And in a second sense, if you're already married, then it kind of helps you to escape from the household chores and being stuck in a house with nothing to do. Is that true?
Yeah, because you get out and you get to see people outside your family. But if you don't study while you're married, you have to stay at home, take care of your children if you have, or
Ergo, if we resolve the issues that are deeply rooted in the society, then the notion of university, because a lot of people take issue with me when I say your diploma is useless. Yeah. Oh, what do you mean? We need knowledge. An educated woman educates half of the society, and all these like corny cliche phrases about the value of education. I am all for education. I want everybody to study, to self-improve. However, you need to really ask yourself, are you actually learning something that's going to contribute to the development of our society? Because from what I see, your degree is not really helping our society evolve.
Well, okay, one second. Calm down there, buddy. Wait, not helping society evolve. What is the study of society attributed to? Is it related more to hard sciences or soft sciences, like the stuff that you're talking about as something that is useless?
I think social studies almost have nothing to do with the development of society.
Exactly. So the fact that you are able to think about that fact and see that as something that should be developed, don't you think that that's probably related to the fact that there's people studying that? There's people that have said that it's a good idea for people to study.
No, who is studying social science? Like, what science exactly do you mean? Do you mean English and English literature?
Okay, English and English literature. How about this? Let's focus on that one. The thing is, although in general, English and English literature might not be the most useful degree, right? I think that it's still something that it's worth it for people to be studying, right? Think about it like this. If you have a society where there's farmers and then there's, et cetera, there's the division of labor and everybody does some part of their work. What's the issue with a certain group of people going into a certain field?
That would not be an issue if only certain people did that degree. But the problem is the vast majority of sisters are doing English, American literature, philology, second language, and all these useless degrees. The vast majority of them.
In Uzbekistan, is there a market for people who want to learn English?
Yes.
Is it big?
It's huge.
So having a degree which by extension lets you work in that field and earn money in that field, isn't that literally like a golden ticket to Moneyland?
The money, yes, but how about... So my premise is when we need engineers, architects, urban designers, even the economists, even though economy is not like a real science, we need, I have this student of mine who studied at Sadık School. Her name is Madina, and maybe we'll have her on podcast too. She's studying engineering, and I love it, because she got IELTS 8, and she could have easily also,
got into world languages.
Yeah, and studied some useless degree. But she's studying engineering. And do we not need engineers more than people with a degree in the English literature?
Well, it depends, but if you're talking about World Language University or like American, I love literature, and I took AP American literature when I was in the US high school. Nobody made me do that. Just I love that. But are these young girls really getting some skills out of it? Because I know that we have some students who just go to the university just to sleep in the lectures, maybe something like this. Well, actually, but they still get the diploma, right? And with that diploma, they go to school to teach students, to teach them. But how they're going to teach? Because at university, basically, these labs, they hang out with your friends, and most of the time. Another story from my own experience, my family was really against going to the USA, and they were equally against me pursuing a degree in STEM or in engineering. So before I went to the USA, my family made me study Uzbek and English and get prepared for the same World Language University. And I got in. Out of 189 points, I got 186. And I got into that university on a scholarship. So it was full-ride scholarship, but I still chose my engineering degree, even though my family really wanted me to go to that university because, your chance of getting married at that university is much higher. Because it's all girls, and then what you're gonna do after you get your degree, it's useless, basically. Trust me, it's useless, because you're gonna stay at home, you're gonna depend on your husband. Okay, I'm not against depending on my husband. I would love that, actually. No, I really love depending on somebody. As a girl, I want to be
approved.
Yes. So, no, I mean, I'm not going to talk too generally, but I'm just talking about myself.
Sure.
So my family literally told me that, yeah, my chance of getting married is much higher there because it's all girls, no boys involved. Less boys. And if you have that degree, it's like your ticket. Not necessarily to the market,
into a successful marriage.
Into successful marriage. You know how girls get picked there? Instantly. Instantly you get into that university and there will be some saucho holalar hunting for you. No, seriously.
Okay, maybe for some.
Yeah, for some.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my family was really against me applying for INHA, for engineering degree, or for Westminster and all this stuff.
From now on, I have a lot of students who go or have gone to or are going to the World Languages University. I'm not going to be able to look at them the same way because all of them are girls, and I never thought about the fact that I have never met a boy who goes there.
Yeah, and talk to them. Do they really want this, or are they just choosing it because their friends or family made them choose it?
I'm sure if they or would they go abroad, or they don't have good alternatives.
What do you mean?
You have 50,000 female students. And if they wanted to do a degree other than the INEAS degree, what options do they have?
I mean, they can study math, they can study chemistry, biology, and at least become biology teacher, teach students biology.
Yeah, but also women are not inclined towards hard sciences, I guess, in general.
I think that is definitely very
Is it science proven?
Yeah, that's not.
No, but
here's the thing. Okay, let's actually talk about this because this is an interesting thing. So I feel like we're kind of mixing a bunch of different issues.
Oh yeah,
we're mixing so many.
Sorry, I got that not hate comment. They said to me.
Yeah,
I was like, they do change topics a lot.
Yeah, and it's not just change. It's it's several different things. I think to some extent that is correct to do because a lot of these issues are very interconnected. There's no way to separate them completely. But I think in order to solve them, we got to look at it kind of one step at a time. So here's the thing. In the US, there still is, and there will be for a long time. And for a long time, there has been, as I said, repeating the same thing, an issue with women in STEM. There has been. I have a question. So, Compsci, you studied this. You are studying this now, right? You didn't study Compsci in high school?
I did.
You didn't see that in high school?
As I said, I first went to West Virginia Tech University as a part of Tech Girls program, and I got a STEM course in molecular modeling and programming.
Okay. So you went to a program which is called, say that again?
Tech Girls.
Tech Girls. There's a reason that exists because the US noticed that there's a very significant lack of women in STEM. And when you think about it, it's not always because of the fact that women are not able to, right? Here's another analogy.
They're just not inclined.
Not inclined to. Okay.
Why are you saying it's not a sexist comment?
Okay. Define inclined. Define
just
inclined.
Their natural predisposition towards...
Define natural predisposition. In what way?
Women like women are people and men are number people.
Okay.
In your opinion, or is it science?
I'm pretty sure it's science-backed.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let's take a step away from that, because I think that's a discussion that, like, it's not going to lead anywhere. I agree with you, but I don't think that's a discussion that can prove points. Here's an example. So there's a very common idea that, tell me if you agree with this, women cannot be good chess players, or they will never be as good as men in chess. Do you agree, at least on some level?
I 100% agree.
Okay, so have you thought about this, just mathematically? You're a hard sciences guy, let's look at the math. So if there's a certain set of, let's say, men, we don't have to think about it as men and women, but this is about men and women. I don't want to give a stupid analogy. A certain number of men that are playing chess and a certain number of women that are playing chess. If they're equal and men and women are equal, then there should be an equal number of men and women chess players at the same level. That is the world that you're imagining, and that is the reason why you're imagining that women are at a significant disadvantage in chess. The reality is the number of women overall playing chess is so significantly smaller that there is no way statistically that a person with the aptitude to get to the same level as, for example, Magnus Carlsen would ever go and play chess, because realistically they would just be pushed away from that world. That person probably exists. They've just never gotten the chance to go and play chess. So when you look at it statistically, like the number of men playing chess...
I get it. So the pool of male chess players is significantly bigger than female chess players. Exactly. And in a perfect world where the number of chess players is equal among both genders, then the probability of a female chess prodigy would skyrocket.
That's the point, yeah. I don't think it's just that the probability would skyrocket. I think it's just that that's the fallacy that you're making. Like, you're seeing it as like they're equal, but they're not.
Do you really think that for over 100 years since we have had chess, and since we also have had more or less liberal values, that some woman who was, as talented in chess as, let's say, Bobby Fischer would show up because they didn't show up yet?
There's been a lot of women. I don't know them personally because I don't care that much about chess. I just know this analogy.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. Look, here's the thing. It's not just about one specific person. That's the fallacy. The point is that it's a person that has a community around them, and it's just the pure statistics of it. Just statistically, if that were to happen, if there would be a person who is that good, they wouldn't get as far because of that number. That's the thing. If you go to a chess club, for example, like in Uzbekistan, realistically, how many of those members are going to be girls? That's why specifically girls-only clubs exist, because that kind of division creates a lot of conflict. That's
no, I agree with your line of reasoning, even though I don't agree with your conclusion, because I do still think that in a perfect world where the number of chess players would be equal among both genders, I would still think the male players would come up trumps, because again, their brains work differently than females. Like the male brain is just, and of course the females, they have other advantages in other areas, like if you tell them, like for example, if you tell a man to cook, he's going to make an amazing dish, but he's also going to butcher your kitchen.
I mean, not in all cases.
Wait, so you're saying that women clean really well? That's the...
No, I mean, women are going to cook an amazing meal too, but also keep the kitchen tidy, because their brain is like not like focused, but it's more like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's more like their viewpoint is wider. So it's kind of a benefit. Like they are good at multitasking. I
can say one thing. I don't think that our brain science scan technology has gotten good enough where we can make a specific statement like that with accuracy. That's the thing. Like, to some extent, maybe. Here's a conclusion that I do agree with. I think that in many cases, for example, tell me if you agree with this, men are more competitive.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of proven facts. Like, for example, I talked to a lot of my friends, female friends, about, let's say, for example, I want to ask at a job for a salary. And I'll say, hey, how much should I ask for this? I ask a girl, I ask a guy. 100% of the time, guy says higher number. For no reason. Always Always. Very anecdotal evidence, obviously, but I have noticed that my female friends, the people that I know, they don't ask for raises as often. They don't value themselves as often.
Except Gulasal there, yeah.
No,
which is great, hell yeah, that's the way it should be, exactly. That's why I'm really happy to be here. So yeah, what is your opinion about this? Do you think that's
I do agree with that. And I don't like competing. Okay, with salary, okay, I did once, right? Maybe twice. But like, no, I mean, I do think that I'm not like typical girls, at least in Uzbekistan, because I know my rights and I know what to do. And there has been instances where I really act like a man, like seriously. Like, okay, so what I was going to say, I lost. Okay, Hulas.
Yeah, so you were answering my question, and my question was, do you agree?
But I agree with you. Men are naturally more competitive than women, because at our workplace as well, men like to compete, even though I don't like to compete. So I literally told one guy, like, hey, bro, I don't want to compete with you. Like, I have no intention of competing.
Why is that, you think? Why do you think that is?
So yeah, that's my next question. So why do you guys think that
evolutionary psychology? Because men...
How is that related to brains?
Well, historically, men have been left no choice other than to stake their lives at out-competing their rivals, because their entire existence depended on that. Whereas women, more or less, were guaranteed a better survival whether or not they tried as hard. Because historically speaking, women were valued for what? They were not valued for their chess skills.
I mean, I'm sure some were. At least a couple. A lot of men were valued for their chess skills. There were a lot of men that got like sponsored just for playing good chess.
Because if you look at like a bunch of chess players, and then there's Magnus Carlsen, obviously women are going to go for Magnus Carlsen. Yeah. But again, if you see a bunch of female chess players, who do you have among the female chess? The Judith Polgar sisters, the icons of female chess. And then you have some other female chess player, then there is no reason why men would be attracted to the greatest chess player of all time, rather than to someone who plays chess maybe less well, but they have other attributes. You know what I'm saying? Because their competence would not necessarily improve their survival rates.
So here's what I think. I think that nowadays it would. Maybe in the past, to some extent, I would agree. But here's the thing. Look, I think I would agree with you about the fact that men had to, I guess, be competitive to some extent. I would agree with that point specifically, and let me tell you why. I think in general, this might be a statement that many people disagree with, but I think that like men just, it's easier for them to get muscles. I think that in general, men are bigger on average. Like, that's a statistical fact. I don't think that's kind of, you thought I was going to say something really controversial, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think in general, yeah. So because of that, when you're thinking about like, oh, okay, there's a lion coming, who's going to defend the village? I think it's kind of logical to push the guys forward first, right? I don't think it's just about the fact that, women are predisposed to be like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So now that we're living in a society where we don't have to fend off lions every day, maybe just every other week, right? I think that you can't think about it exactly like this anymore. I disagree with that.
Of course. But you need to give another couple of 1,000 years for our brains to readjust.
I think it has less to do with the way that our brains currently are, because I think that outside of like, let's say, microplastics, I don't think our brains are evolving nearly as much as in the past. I think that maybe at some level they were evolving a lot. Nowadays, since we're like, I'm going to say breeding because that's the scientific term, since we're kind of breeding every direction, right? There's no up movement anymore. Evolution doesn't work the same way. Evolution would work like we
you only breed with the best breed.
Exactly. That doesn't happen anymore. So because that, you can't think of evolution as something that's like a continuing significant factor. It is to some extent, right? But not as significant. So here's the thing, to get to my final conclusion, here's the thing. We don't have the capacity to say this has anything to do with the female brain versus the male brain. I think that 100% of it has to do with society. I think that on a society, this is my opinion, obviously, I'm not stating what your opinion is. From the points that we have drawn, the conclusions that I think...
Like all gender roles are a societal construct.
Not all gender roles. Definitely not all. That's a statement that's, I think, pushing it a little bit too far. But in general, like if we, for example, compare like Uzbekistan and the USA, you have not been paid to be in this. Sorry. What do you think? It's funny how we're like sitting here discussing all of it. What do you think?
Yeah, like what are you guys discussing?
Why are we discussing female brains? Yeah. While you have a female brain,
we brought a viewer to this discussion.
You are the arbiter,
Bro. Yeah. So, what do you think?
No, I think you didn't finish first.
Yeah,
I was waiting for your final conclusion.
Let me get to the final conclusion. Yeah, that's
please.
true. We aren't able to draw it out of the brain. My final conclusion is that all has to do with society. The way that, society is, the way that people are pushed to be in a specific way. And I think I can't describe it completely. I don't know what it is completely. Maybe it's not even studied completely. Maybe it is. I don't have a gender science degree to tell you, and thank God I don't. Sorry. I do agree to some extent with the Inyas point. But anyway.
Okay. You're cancelled now.
Yeah.
All of your students from Inyas.
I'm sorry, Inyas, guys. I'm so sorry. Also, world languages, guys. Girls only.
Some guys go
I haven't met a single one. Who? Name one.
I know. I have 2 colleagues.
Two. Out of all.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So finally, it's about society. That's it. It's the way the society influences you. I don't agree with the fact that it's all gender roles, because gender roles is a very big thing, but definitely to a very high level. It's like competitiveness, for example. There's a lot of women that are competitive, a lot. I don't think it's something that can be in the brain. I think that the reason why maybe you are that way is because you grew up in Uzbekistan. That's why.
Or you got influenced by society, as you said. And I agree with both of you. I agree that our brains are structured in different way. I totally agree. And I also, we should admit that sometimes male thinks different thing and women think different thing. I've seen some anecdotes of that. Like if you ask the same question from men and women, they may have different opinions. Maybe just because of their gender. Maybe. I'm not sure. And I also agree with you that sometimes society shapes. In most cases, society shapes. In most cases. So it means I agree more with
the
him.
arbiter. The arbiter has spoken. Yes.
But yeah. So
yeah, obviously, because your position is
it's like really liberal,
more aligned. Yeah. Because my position is basically I'm saying men and women are different.
No, we are different. Why not?
He says, no, there is no brain difference at all.
No. Okay, we have differences.
Look at his expression.
No,
Look,
Alex, there might be some...
We're going to drop studies, like meta-studies into how our brains are functioning.
We should. We should. It's like
but not for this podcast, obviously. And
next.
Yeah. Short rounds too. I love rounds too because they bring more clarity.
True.
Yeah, because you do more research, and it's so hard to tell anything without research. Yeah, and then I agree with his opinion more because society and then your family sometimes or what you're studying affects you. For example, there might be 2 females with the same, let's say, with the same brain structure. Because you said females
sure.
And yeah. So, and she might think differently or she might act differently than I'm acting, for example. Yes, you talked about asking for a salary raise. I do compete sometimes. For example, I run marathons and of course I do compete. And earlier I said, if I want it, I get it. In that case, yes, if I really want it, I have to compete, obviously. And all right, so yeah, and there will be some girl who doesn't want to compete and all that stuff, who doesn't want to ask for salary raise. But for example, I asked. Or there has been some instances where like females were really, really good leaders. Yes, for example, but people think that men are like more inclined to be good leaders, something like this. So yeah, I think it's society or personal character, and I think that in both genders we have like some male sides or female sides, right?
Yeah, I think like the tipping points are where all the differences emerge. Like, because statistically speaking, men and women are like very similar to each other, but then like there is a slight like gap. And that slight gap, when you take it to extremes, that becomes huge. This is what Jordan Peterson says. Like, for example, women are, in general, a little bit more agreeable than men. However, that a little bit, when you take it to extremes, 90% of male prisoners, 90% of prisoners are men. So you see that little bit difference, when you take it to the extremes, it becomes huge.
I think there's a lot of interesting things there, but here's the funniest part. Here's like the funniest part out of all this whole discussion. This whole topic has nothing to do with hard sciences.
94%.
94%, yeah. It's all soft science, and you're like discussing it in a very interesting way. Plus, I have a question. What do you go to university for? What's your university major?
Right, linguistics.
Linguistics? Like linguistic? I thought you went to like the Arabic Islamic Studies University.
Well, I did my bachelor degree in Islamic history, in Islamic studies, but my master's degree is in Arabic linguistics.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Okay. The second part is cool because linguistics, I guess, isn't linguistics mostly mathematics? Isn't it like just like counting all the stuff and like I've heard people say that. Is that wrong? I mean, maybe Arabic is different. I don't know, because Arabic linguistics sounds interesting. But would you say that's a soft thing or like a hard science? A soft science or hard science?
Arabic in particular is probably a hard science because Arabic hasn't changed. Like, unlike other languages, you can track it back to its...
You're studying ancient Arabic.
Which is also MSA, Modern Standard Arabic. They're like 90% the same.
90%.
Like, yeah. If you took a guy who spoke decent MSA, Modern Standard Arabic, yeah, and if you were to read him something from a text written like 1500 years ago, they would totally get it.
Okay.
And which they probably wouldn't in English or any other language.
But wait, last week I was on a train with a Saudi guy. So I asked him to translate what was written in an ancient, let's say, monument in Samarkand. He couldn't.
Yeah, because it's calligraphy. It's hard to read. My friend who majors in that calligraphy stuff, textual studies, he sat me down in a masjid and he said, Uzbek, can you read this? And I took like 15 minutes to read a single verse. It was, and by letters, I was just guessing. This is looks like a.
Well, because calligraphy is more like art. Like it's like
and also
set of art.
Even if they could read it, not every Arab knows MSA.
Yeah. He told me like that. His grandmother, for example, doesn't know or something.
Okay, but here's my question though. How does that differ from English literature? What you're studying, how is that different? Let's forget about the fact that a lot of people go to university just to chill with their friends, because that's totally true.
Okay. So it aligns with my goals. It just aligns with my goals. Like people who go to INEAS, do they have a higher goal that aligns with them studying English literature?
Are we discussing the study of English literature in general and the study of like that specific major, or are we talking about specifically people in INEAS?
Specifically people in INEAS.
So in general, you think that the fact that you're studying English literature, like the fact that people
for a small minority of people, it would be fine, and I think we are a small minority of people studying Arabic linguistics.
Okay.
Because we need.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you on that. Yeah, that's solid. That's a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah. So. It's not the problem. It's not the degree that's the problem. It's the disproportionate number of.
That's a good way to. Yeah, because those people are going there to do that.
If they did some other degree, it would have maybe brought more benefits to society. But again, yeah, you can like.
I think maybe if we're talking about people who are not studying, right? If we're talking about people who don't care about studying, maybe they're doing it not for the reason that they should be. Then it doesn't really matter what they go into because it's always going to be terrible. And it's in fact, if it's something that's useless technically, like English literature. It's probably better that they're doing that than studying, like, for example, medicine, and then they don't care about it, they don't study it, and then they go and become a doctor and somebody dies, right? So maybe they're doing
By the way, take good care of your health, because people who graduated during COVID pandemic, they are about to become doctors.
They're using ChatGPT, guys. Your doctor graduated with ChatGPT.
Alex, calm down. This is a small surgery. But doctor, my name is Uzbek. I know, I'm Alex.
That's me. That's This is I will never be a doctor. Yeah.
Your illness is the kind of illness that I chose as my elective and didn't study. That would be a game over. Yeah. But anyways, we have to. I'm really sorry. This topic is so interesting. I wish we could just linger on for like another 2 hours, because I have so many things to say, and Alex has a lot of things to say. Yeah.
I have nothing to say. Because that's not really interesting. Like, what do you get out of it?
You see, if we were discussing men, people, women, then she would be in.
I don't think so. I think she's not incentivized to discuss it. She doesn't get anything from this discussion.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think that.
What do you get? Have you been sponsored?
Yes.
by
Biden.
Yeah. Okay.
Between his naps, he had time
to write a contract, to sign a contract.
Good. So I had such a lot of questions, but okay, look, I really want to wrap it up.
We can do like a rapid fire.
Yeah. So Alex, what's your favorite Uzbek phrase that you wish had existed in English?
Oling. Oling, I love that so much. Begzal bin Ahmed showed me that on a podcast. Ever since then, every time I eat with somebody, I do it aggressively. Not like calm. I say oling, oling, oling until they take it. That's the best. If that was in English, I'd be so happy.
In English, don't you have it like take it?
Yeah, but we don't say that. That's like rude. Like, I'm going to take whatever I want. Hey, calm down. But in Uzbek, it's like, hell yeah. Like, yeah, because it's like you're taking care of them, but like aggressively, right? That's not something we do in English. Yeah, so it's great.
Yeah.
Gulasal, what's your favorite phrase in English that you wish had existed in Uzbek?
I don't know. Do we have help yourself?
Marhamat, I guess.
Okay. No, I don't think I have that phrase. Maybe. I don't know.
Can we give it as homework for our next podcast?
We can leave it in the description if you come up with something.
What's your favorite phrase?
That exists in English, but doesn't exist in Uzbek, yeah?
Yeah. And the last question, and we're going to wrap it up. Oh my God. We completely skipped the topic of...
There's a whole other page.
No, we completely skipped the part where English proficiency was linked to social status, but okay. What's your favorite quote of all time about happiness? Let's do happiness. Let's be specific.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. You got to go first on this one.
I don't have a favorite quote about happiness, but my favorite quote, I don't know how it's related to your chat.
No, it's I'm messaging him. Okay, fine. I'll find it in there.
Yeah. Don't Google it. Okay, so my favorite quote of all time. I actually have two. I mentioned the first one. If I want it, I get it. It's by me. The second one is, nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt.
Ooh.
I love this for so many years. Yeah, I think kind of related to happiness because I talked about freedom and being yourself and all the stuff. Yeah, so if you are yourself, if you act like that, if you have a good level of freedom, then yeah.
Can you read the quote once more?
Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent.
No, that's it. It's just for the editing part. Because I see a lot of yeah.
That's a really good quote. That's like the quote that you leave some like space after so everybody can just let it sink in. That's a good one. Yeah, let it ring out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody can make you don't do like this.
Sorry.
Yeah, just okay, one more time. Nobody, girls, or everyone, can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt.
That's a great one.
Thank you.
Yeah, wow.
Your turn.
Mine is not as cool, not nearly as cool. It's from a song. It's the first thing that came to my mind when I heard the word happiness. It's from a song by my favorite band called The Strokes. And it's called, I think it's called, the name of the song is Two Kinds of Happiness. Genuinely. So the quote is, happiness is two different things. What you take and then what you give. That's not nearly as deep. We don't have to like pause after that. It's not even close to as deep. But you know, it does say a lot about the fact that you play a big part in how much happiness you have in your life. As I mentioned before, right? You can't control your circumstances that are around you, but you can control your reaction to them, right? Yeah. So that's that. And what is yours? You got to have one.
Pulled
it up.
He already Googled.
He Googled.
No, I just want to make it. I want to get it like
exact.
Yes.
That's
right,
good.
right.
ChatGPT, please write a quote.
Yeah, for me.
So this, I will read the quote, okay, and you guys tell me if it requires any explanation. I don't think it really requires any explanation because it's kind of self-explanatory, but it's about happiness, okay? It's one of my favorite ones. It's called it's called the deferred happiness syndrome. Deferred happiness syndrome is the common feeling that your life has not begun yet, that your present reality is a mere prelude to some idyllic future. This ideal is a mirage that will fade as you approach, revealing that the prelude you rushed through was in fact the one to your death.
That's a good one. You got to give subspace at the end. Not a lot, but some. That's a good one. But there's a lot of words they don't know. Like, for example, idyllic. Define idyllic without using ChatGPT.
No, perfect.
Yeah. So idyllic is similar to ideal,
Mirage.
kind of like something. Yeah. What about mirage? Yeah. Isn't that the same as in Russian or like in Uzbek?
The same. Mirage is like when you're super thirsty and you see a.
I
like an
know that.
oasis.
I know that. But
But
I
he's
thought.
explaining to them.
Oh,
It's not to us.
Right. Sorry.
I don't know what idyllic
You
is.
thought we were being condescending, women splaining. She really thought that, you know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, that's a good quote. That's solid.
Yeah.
Guys,
He really did his homework.
He did. He
Mhm.
did. He had the picture. Hell,
Mhm.
yeah. Guys, let us know down in the comments below. What is your favorite quote about happiness? In fact, all the things that we've said throughout the episode, we've all said, like, write it down in the comments. Make a list of all the things we told you. Write them all down. And at the end, you should put your favorite quote about happiness.
Thank you. Right.
Alex, thanks for coming on the show. Gulasal, thank you. I hope to see you in the future episodes. Kitobxon Kundaligi bilan yukseling. Oh, that part was just, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah. We need this backstage to edit at the end.